Okay, welcome to cybersecurity, especially network and cybersecurity clinic, presented by Mohammed Usami. The topic is how to stop attackers from using our DNS against us. Okay, statistically, 80% of malware uses DNS for C2. Why? Because DNS is critically trusted. DNS is a system that resolves IP addresses to hostname and hostname to IP addresses. But DNS can also be exploited. Because of this trust, the malicious people use DNS against us. Because the machines we use to access to the internet cannot easily tell malicious domains from legit domains or legitimate domains. Therefore, attackers take advantage of this trust and use DNS for command control to manipulate and attack DNS. So, what is DNS? DNS is like an internet phone book. Firewalls allow DNS by default. Because why? Because it's a trusted system. A perfect for covert, malicious, and a covert communications or channels. Okay, how attackers abuse DNS? They attack multiple ways, but let's pick three main theories or methods, I would say. First method is something called the malware delivery. The second is C2 communication, and the third is data exfiltration. Just to read each context, malware delivery means attacker uses DNS to help deliver or trigger malware on a device, often by directing the system to download malicious files or connect to harmful domains. C2 communications. This is an example where infected devices use DNS to quietly creep and talk and communicate with an attacker's command and control server, C2, allowing them receiving instructions or sending a status update without raising suspicions. Because the PC is completely blind. They don't know whether that DNS they talking to is a legit or non-legit. They cannot tell the difference, as we mentioned before. If that happens, then the data exfiltration takes place, where attackers hide stolen data inside DNS queries. So they hide malicious attempt or malicious code inside a trusted DNS, allowing sensitive information to leave the network through normal looking DNS traffic. Okay, technique number one for C2. Malware sends DNS query to attacker domains. Infected hosts receive instructions. Technique number two, generation of algorithm. Okay, thousands of domains generated daily, or we call it newly created domains. Blacklist evasion. The domain is not yet identified or flagged in threat intelligence feeds or security tools. So this is the loophole, what's called a zero-day attack. This creates a window of opportunity for attackers. 124% year-on-year, okay, growth. Year-on-year, growth. Some statistics. 124% year-on-year growth means that the volume of something which is likely suspicious or malicious domains more than doubled compared to the previous years. 100% of year-on-year growth means the statistics of the attack it's almost doubled or tripled or quadrupled. 124% year-on-year growth means it increased by 2.24 to the power x, or times year over year. Apparently, you can read this example, which is a clear demonstration of how the attacks have been increasing so far. Technique number 3, something called tunneling. It's to put a malicious code inside a legitimate tunnel. So data is hidden in DNS packets, passes through firewalls unnoticed, used by APT, Advanced Persistent Threats. Okay, why traditional tools fail to counteract or protect against what we mentioned before? Because standalone tools create security silos, lack of visibility into DNS logs delays detections, manual CAP approvals slow things down and make it harder to quickly apply DNS badges and DNS changes that reduce the risk or mitigate the risk. Okay, modern DNS defense. You can have cloud-scale threat intelligence, you can have machine learning detections, you can have automated responses. But all of these need a technically minded individuals. They can't do the job by themselves. DNS security best practice. Okay, so what do? You train your users, you receive threat intelligence feedback or a program, you analyze DNS log constantly, you use holistic security stack, not just the one tool. Threats to DNS and how to secure it. Okay, we know that DNS is heavily exploited, so that we need a machine learning, automation, cloud, okay, intelligent feedback, also technically skilled workforce. Protecting DNS is to protect your network as our network. Key takeaway. Okay, so you've now understood DNS is the internet phone book. It translates domain names into IP addresses. Firewall always allow DNS, perfect covert channel for attackers. What if DNS is infected by malware or C2? Okay, once infected, malware sends DNS queries to attackers' controlled domains. So everything is out of control. So which means every machine that you ever controlled or you're controlling are talking to the command and control server. They're not talking to your normal DNS. They're not talking to public or public DNS or protective DNS. They're talking to malicious DNS. Thus, DNS looks up contain hidden instructions. Victim becomes a remote controlled bot or botnet. DGA attacks. DGAs produce thousands of random domains daily, which we will call randomly or newly created domains, where attackers can create 100 domains, okay, and they only need to use one. Attackers only register one to activate C2, rather than using all of those created daily, so that defenders cannot block them fast enough. Blacklists go overwhelmed. DNS tunneling, as we mentioned before. So DNS tunneling, it means hiding a legit, hiding a malicious content inside a legitimate DNS query. So DNS passes through firewall, so exfiltration goes unnoticed. Used heavily by APT groups, Advanced Persistent Threat Groups. Why traditional tools fail? Because of this. DNS traffic is massive, dynamic, okay, and rarely inspected. Blacklists cannot keep up with DGAs. Standalone tools cannot share intelligence altogether. Manual work is too slow for automated attacks. Modern defenses, as we already mentioned some of them before. So you need massive cloud threat intelligence. You need machine learning to detect unknown malicious domains. You need automated responses via next generation firewall if you are able to do so. You need cloud-based DNS protections, updates swiftly or instantly. You need integrated security that beats isolated tools. Okay, DNS best practice continues. So train your users, analyze DNS logs, understand your weakness and your threat landscape, secure mobile employees, avoid single products, use holistic automated security, but simplify it so that they serve you, okay, not your vendors. Because your vendor can tell you, oh, we've got this sophisticated DNS security, and once you purchase, you put it in place, and then what? You perceive that you are automatically protected, which is false positive, which is not, to be honest, which is not true. Conclusion: DNS is essential yet heavily exploited, making it one of the most critical blind spots in modern cybersecurity. Attackers rely on your DNS visibility gaps, so turning DNS from a weakness into a strength is no longer optional, but it's a mandatory. Transform your DNS from blind spot into a powerful security layer that actively detects, blocks, and stops threat in real time. Take control of your network by enhancing invisibility, automating protections, staying ahead of evolving DNS-based attacks, and stay secure, stay vigilant. Thanks for watching.